Hello and welcome to this video about the Agora of Athens in the classical period. I am about to enter the Agora, which is the public square of Athens. Behind me up there is the Acropolis. Now, the Agora was the center of the public life of Athens. It was a public square with economic activities, as you can see here, religious activities and political activities were conducted by the Athenians. The building which I'm entering at the moment is the South Stoa. It's a building delimiting the southern side of the Agora, and as you can see it has a colonnade of Doric columns and one wall. It's a public building where people can stroll, stay in the shadow, and be protected in case it's raining, meet and discuss several things. Now, when one entered the Agora, there would be stone stelas. Two were found more or less in this location, delimiting the limits. These stones would have an inscription in Greek saying I am, literally speaking, the limit of the Agora, because in this way encroachment of public land was avoided, and people who could not enter the Agora, like people underage, children, and people who committed crimes, were advised and warned not to enter. The building in front of me, it's the Skias. It's a tholos building, it's a circular building, and it's the seat of the Prytaneis. It's the executive committee of the Boule, or the Senate of the city of Athens. It's made up of 50 people, citizens taken from the Boule. Here they would discuss matters, executive policies, and at least 17 out of them would be living inside day and night, fed at the expenses of the city, so that if in case of any emergency anyone could come to the Skias and talk to them. So symbolically this is really the center of democracy, where at any time, every day, every night, the government is ready to respond. Up here we have the Bouleuterian. Actually, the Bouleuterian's entrance would be to the south, not to the east. As you can see, it's a quite large building with a flat floor in the middle, surrounded by a staircase on three sides. This is the place where the Boule, or the Senate of Athens, would meet and discuss legislation. They were 500 members of the Boule. Continuing on the west side of the Agora, up there we have the temple to Hephaestus, Hephaestion. It's a very nice Doric building, probably the best preserved all over Greece. As you can see, it's a hexa-style peripteral temple. Everything is perfectly Doric, and we have a D-style in antis pronaos. And if we go back, the back of the building, there is also a D-style in antis opistodomos. As you can see, the building is high up, faces the Agora, and there is no visual interruption except this tent for the market there. But as you can see, there is a sort of road crossing the Agora, so that the visual anywhere around the Agora could be open to this very important temple. If we move up, we have several buildings. This looks like the Stoa of Zeus Eleutherios, Zeus who grants freedom. As you can see, it has two projecting wings coming out, and it's the external part of the building is a Doric building. Now it's dedicated to a god, but it's not a temple. It would have here the weapons taken from the enemies of the Athenians as a sign of reminding them that this is a place to celebrate the victory of the Athenians. In fact, it was built and dedicated after the Battle of Plataea, which marked the chasing away of the Persians from Athens. The Stoa of Zeus Eleutherius. The northern part of the Agora would have other buildings. Of course, this is a reconstruction approximative. Here there would be the Stoa Basileus with a copy of the laws passed by the Athenian Boule. And this one is the famous Stoa Poikile. It's a building with Doric columns. It should have probably Ionic columns inside, like most of the Stoae. And it's called Poikile, which means painted, because of several panels hanging from the walls with paintings made by some of the most famous Athenian painters at the time. This was a truly public building, not occupied by any institution, by any religious order or anything. Any citizen could come here and just stroll and have some nice time. So it was somehow the center of attraction for street artists, that they needed a large public to perform. This was the place, the Stoa Poikile. This dog is pissing. It's cute. It's forbidden. You can't piss in the Agora. It's a religious building. It's a religious area. Get off. Just joking. We have in the middle the only building that was actually allowed within the area of the Stoa. The only public building constructed and built, not just tents or market stalls like this, was the altar to the 12 gods. As you can see, there was a wall surrounding it, and there is an altar in the middle. There's also a knife for a sacrifice, and this marked the mile zero, the beginning of all measures for roads to be counted from Athens. So any road was like counted from starting from here, and then you would measure how far away you would go. Now the eastern side, where the tough guy is now trying to go, later on would be occupied by the Stoa of Attalos II in mid 2nd century BCE. But this reconstruction, this environment, as you see it, is from the mid 5th century BCE, so there is no such thing as the Stoa of Attalos. This interesting building is a fountain house. It's a building hosting a fountain for public water, so people could come in and collect their own water for their purposes. And let's just have a general view. Again, the Acropolis down there, the South Stoa here, and the rest of the Agora in front of me, including up there the Ephesteion. And that's all from the Agora of Athens. Thanks for listening.